Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, I'm Natalie, and in this channel I share my financial journey with all of you. I am doing my setup for February. If you saw my last video, you know that I had a exciting start of the year, but I also had a terrible end of January and beginning of February. So I am way behind on this, as always. It seems like this is the story of my life, really. But I wanted to still do this and eventually catch up. And I've transitioned into a full digital planning. I'm at least trying it for this year so that I didn't have to just purchase stickers and things like that. So for this month, if I'm being honest, this is all you're getting in terms of like decorating this digital calendar. As always, this I use mostly to kind of keep track of my bills for the month. Nothing major that I want to highlight happened in February. I did lose my dog, or I didn't lose her. I had to put her down on the 10th, which was very sad, and it's taken me several weeks to be able to actually even say that. So I just had a pretty tough time, but I'm feeling a lot better lately, and I wanted to, share my journey, like with all the ups and downs, including just losing the pet that I had since I was 18. So I'm definitely really sad still, but feeling much better than I had in the last several weeks. And yeah, I'm just here to share what's been going on with me. So my bills are here. This is what I had initially written down in my draft notebook. As you guys know, I keep a physical notebook with all of my drafts for my budgets and things like that, so I don't lose track of what I planned on doing versus what actually ends up happening. So my priority was for her to get better. Obviously, that didn't happen. I also wanted to finally open my investment account, which was a rollover goal from January, and I did end up doing this, so that's a spoiler. I wanted to save $800 towards my emergency fund, and honestly I can't remember if that actually ended up happening or not. And on top of that, I definitely wanted to make my January and February contributions to my investment account, which is really my Roth IRA. If I am able to max that out, I'll move on to a regular brokerage account moving forward. But yeah, that was kind of like what I had set up. Nothing special, very simple and to the point. And when it comes to my monthly budget, I always use the last month's paycheck to fund my current month's first half of the month. So my paychecks were on the 31st and on February 14th. Yeah, let's just set this up. So for my salary, I was hoping to have fixed everything in terms of like my 401k contribution and stuff by the month of February, but I honestly completely forgot about it and didn't have the mind to fix that until later in the month. So I'm still not really sure what my salary will look like moving forward, because I think they made some changes at my job where there were some things that we were taking care of last year, and there were some deductions there that are no longer going to be on us and the company is going to take care of, but I don't remember exactly like how much of a difference that would make. So my salary expectations for the month of February were $7,749 with 3 cents, and I actually ended up getting some money from like cash back and things like that. So I did that right at the start of the month, so I'm just gonna add this here. So that was $77.21. This was a combination of both Rakuten and then cashback. So I think like $40 came from Rakuten and then the remaining was cashback. Then that means that my total income is expected to be $7,826 with 24 cents. So that's what we're working with for the month. My rent actually I don't think it changed. So it's staying at $16.02 even For my HOA for my condo in Florida, that actually increased in the month of January, so that sucked. And now it's 300, or actually no. It increased and my payment didn't actually go down as I was expecting like the last year. So my HOA payment now is $428 with 16 cents. This is HOA and the difference of like this is basically now I'm in charge of like paying for the HOA almost in full, which is not great, but it is what it is. For water for my apartment, I have $70.23. And I honestly have no idea why this was so high, but it seems like they gave me a credit in March, so that's interesting. But they charged me way more than I was expecting, especially given that I wasn't in the apartment for 3 out of 4 of the weeks of January. 1603 is my Audible subscription that I still hadn't been able to cancel at this point because I completely forgot about it given everything that was happening. So that was that. Then for my iCloud, that is always $3. I refuse to upgrade and my iCloud is just a mess, but I'm not paying $10 for things to sit in an iCloud server. It's just crazy to me. For my student loans, my minimum payment, because I've been paying towards the principal so much, is still $143.54. And I was supposed to get a renewal for like, because I'm on the income driven one and I don't know what's going on. This just is a mess. I'm just gonna keep sending money towards it and hopefully I make a good dent on it. For Spotify, that is $22.58 and I pay for a family plan until they notice that I don't live with any of them, so we will see. Then for electricity, I obviously wasn't here, but it was extremely cold for Charlotte while I was away, and obviously to like not have pipes burst and stuff like that, there's a specific temperature that I had to leave the AC on, so it was quite high. I needed to keep the heat on, so especially because I wasn't here for so long, so that's what ended up happening. For cell phones, I pay for 5 lines through Cricket. Oh, I hope this doesn't think, yeah, perfect. So that's $125, which is great. I have no complaints with this. I love how affordable it is, but for internet, that is $49.99. And I have a feeling this will go up in after March because I've been here for a full year now, and I know internet specials only run through 12 months, not more, so we'll see what happens. For Max/Netflix, I have, what is it? It's $338 for Max plus $7.99 for Netflix. And to be honest, I haven't remembered to send the money over to my brother, but I may send it like all in one payment for the rest of the year, who knows. But that's $11.37. And then of course Apple Care, just because I am paranoid and I always have Apple Care on my phones for at least the first year, so we'll see if I switch that around in the near future. But that's pretty much it for fixed expenses. So for my total here, this would be $2,567 with 69 cents. So 7,826.24 minus 2,567.69 means that I have $5,000 or $5,258.55 left over to work with. And that's what that looks like. For student loans, again, this is something that I want to increase at some point this year, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna leave it at $356.46, which gives me a minimum total payment of $500 per month. Then for groceries, my budget. So for groceries, I had set up 400 as my budget because I knew I was gonna go to like Sam's Club or Costco, and I ended up going. For gas and tolls, I wasn't planning on leaving the house much, so I did the minimum 120, which was probably more than enough at this point, especially with me being all depressed. For household, again, because I didn't go to Costco slash Sam's Club in January, I knew I was gonna go now. So I hate how much this iPad hates me. For shopping, I had 250 just in case. At this point too, when I set this up, I knew, well, I was hoping I was gonna go on a work trip in early March, so I was kind of planning on getting a few things because this was not going to be a casual work trip. This was going to be a conference, and I work from home. I've been working from home for 5 years now, and I got rid of all of my professional clothing. So I thought I was gonna be spending some money on that, unfortunately, which would like make me break that goal of make me fail that goal of like not buying clothes for the majority of the year. So that's what I set out to do. For eating out, I set up 150. Again, I wasn't planning on doing much this month. Except like kind of recovering from like all the expenses in January, and of course like with everything that happened, it just didn't make sense after the fact either. So for beauty, I have 125. I was planning on getting a pedicure, and for unbudgeted as always, that is 0. And sinking funds were at $975. This is like separate from like the things that I thought I would have to spend on Lily. So this was just a regular savings. So for my variable expenses, my estimated total that I would spend over the month would end up being $2,120.00. That would mean that, so I deducted the fixed bills, I'm deducting the debt payment, and then the variable expenses, that would leave me with $2,782 with 9 cents. So for my goals for the month, I obviously don't need this. This is just a rollover from, oh gosh, from January. So we can delete this one. What is going on? So my emergency fund, Roth IRA, taxes / escrow, this would become just taxes. And then of course my Lily emergency fund, which again, I'm glad that I had started saving for it, but it just ended up not happening how I thought. So I'm gonna start with what I actually did save for Lily, which was $500 again. And as if you saw my last video, you know that I did save $500 that I was planning on using for February. I obviously had several expenses that I needed to cover in early February, one of them being the follow-up regular vet appointment just to see how she was holding up after a week of like her hospitalization. That ended up being about $600 and something with all the medicines that I got her, all the food choices that I got her, because I knew that she wasn't planning on eating her regular food that I had just bought over Christmas. So I got a few different options for her there, got her some medicine, and then this extra $500 was supposed to be for a local vet once I saw that she was stronger and got better, so that she could get her annual shots and annual checkup again and just see how things were going. You know, this obviously ended up going to putting her to sleep, which was definitely not what I wanted this for, but I'm glad that at least I had some money set aside. And yeah, it worked out that way. So yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I know, like, you guys are probably watching this and like, so sad. Nothing but bad news. But this is just my life right now. So sometimes I have really exciting, fun things that I go through, and then there's like also these very sad moments. So hopefully March treats me better. So I know I'm starting from the bottom up. It's just I like to like do the rest of the stuff before I focus on the emergency fund and the Roth IRAs. I don't know. I'm just like working backwards, I guess. Then for taxes, again, I have the rental property. I know that I now live in a state income tax state, so I know that it's probably gonna be a lot more money than I was expecting. And I obviously don't have like that money set aside for obvious reasons. I don't actually make any money off of my condo right now, and I haven't since I rented it out. It literally pays for itself to a certain extent. The HOA is always falling on me, or at least not all of it, but the majority of it, and especially now. So for taxes, I am planning on having about $500 also set aside for this. I don't know if that's actually what ends up happening, but you guys will see in the next video, I guess. So 500 is what I'm thinking. And then for my Roth, that is staying at 583. Because I did contribute 585. Or actually, no. This is 585. Moving forward after February, it'll be 583 because that'll be the full amount. Starting in March, my contribution would go down to 583 because I really don't like to just send out and deposit money with cents, so I just deposited a few bucks more in January and February, and then I'm depositing full round numbers moving after that. That are a little bit lower, and that doesn't go there, that actually goes here. Then for my emergency fund, I am planning on doing, what is it, 850 plus 300, let's say I'm doing 1,000 for my emergency fund. I don't know if that's actually gonna add up correctly, but we're gonna figure that out right now. So 2,782.01 or 09 is what I have left over, minus 585, minus 500 for my taxes, minus 500 for Lily. That left me with 1197. So I actually think I'm gonna increase this to 100 is what we're gonna go with, and then I have a buffer of 97 bucks left over if my paycheck ends up being that amount. If not, then that'll be different. Okay, so 1100 plus 585 plus 500 plus 500 equals 2,685 even.
So that is what the budget looks like. So this is how much income I'm expecting. Hopefully it's a little bit more than that. If not, then we will need to see. Then I spend this in fixed expenses. So 2,567. My debt is still 350. Oh. Copy. 356. For variable expenses, I got $2,100 and $20. And then for my savings, that means
So that's all set up there. So 7, 8, 26, 24 minus 25, 67, 69 minus 356, 46 minus 2120 minus 2685. That leaves me with 90. Ooh, nope. 9709. That is what my monthly budget is looking like. So I think, yeah, these were my priorities. I'm not gonna lie, some of those didn't actually ended up working out, but yeah, I feel good about this, and I'm literally going to be recording the closeout of this budget right after this video so you guys can see what ended up happening with my actual plan. Hopefully I first figure out my paycheck and it is a little bit higher than that, and second, I can stay under budget in some of these categories so that I can put more towards my savings. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can follow my journey, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!